Hey, what's up, guys? So, somebody wants to know about or wants advice on having no idea or plan for the future. Like, I'm about to graduate from school, but have no idea what to study at college or what profession I want to get in. This is good. This is very good, and it makes me somewhat envious because I always tell myself now, like, man, if I was just 18 with the knowledge I have right now, man, the position that I would be in is it's amazing. I mean, can't overstate it. And it's a very great problem to have. In fact, I'm glad that you do have that problem when it comes to leaving high school. You don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And you feel like you gotta have it figured out because you're a man now. You're a woman. Times have changed, man. Like, and technology and all of these laws and all of these rules and how everybody's falling behind, like, it's proof that we aren't truly adults until, well, to be decided. It's a coming of age thing. But I would actually prefer for a child coming out of school, something that particular child didn't have much of a say in. It was pretty. I mean, it's the law. I would hope that when it's all said and done, that they are able to take a few steps back from that, because by the time you graduate, you already had 12, 13, maybe 14 years of going to school when you didn't want to, and your parents said you had to, and I guess the law said you had to. But and forgive me if I'm rambling. But to be at that position where you pretty much got a fresh start, and you're sitting there questioning which particular path you should take, and the thing that's always forced to you is college, so you get a good job and pay off the debt, whatever. My opinion on college, personally, I don't see anything wrong with it, especially if you can get a full ride. If you can get a full ride, that's ideal for sure. Especially if you're going to college for something that's not oversaturated, something that's going to have high demand. We talking about being a doctor. We talking about being computer engineers and all those things. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about getting a business degree. All right, for all of that, you can put your money elsewhere. And I understand that you're taking out loans, but man, it's first of all, let me just, because I'm all over the place. I didn't write down all that I wanted to say in order, but look, let me just say, if you don't necessarily have an entrepreneurial mindset, or you want to figure it out, or you want to raise capital, one of the first things that you should be considering when leaving high school, in fact, I think this should be the first thing. I think this should come before college and before going to the military. Yeah, I said it. The first thing that you should consider is getting an apprenticeship. And what you will find is that these apprenticeships lead to pay that's greater than a lot of jobs you got to go to college for. Oh, and here's the caveat. Here's the kicker. All right. Let's say you're in an apprenticeship for 4 years. Well, those 4 years, not only will you be getting on-the-job experience, but you be getting paid as well. You be getting some pretty good money. I mean, take a carpenter, for example. 4 years of carpentry school, and once that's all said and done, you are considered a journeyman. And journeymen in Philly, for example, they start off making $42 an hour. That doesn't include time and a half and double time, all of that. It doesn't include working on holidays. It doesn't include all of the money that you earned when you were still an apprentice. So imagine being 18 years old, going from at 18 years old, you make the decision to sign up for an apprenticeship. All right, well then at 23, man, you're going to be looking so good. I'm telling you, you are going to be doing better than a lot of people who are twice your age. I mean, don't let it get to your head, but like that's really out there for you, man. You young, you limber, you got you're nimble, you're ready to go. You're a young buck. You haven't even hit your prime yet. That's a great move. I could end the video right there. That's the one thing that like I really wish I would have had going for me back then. I was not thinking like that. I just wasn't, man. Like my mind was in the right direction, but like it's just I didn't have any examples. I didn't know where to go to. I wasn't the type of person who really utilized Google the way that I use it now, like in an attempt to answer every question that comes to my mind. But man, if only I was thinking like that, man. Like I'm pretty sure, I hate to do that, but I'm pretty sure my life would have been a lot better by now. Whether if I was still, working in construction or whatever thing, plumbing, whatever it may be, or I use that seed money, that capital, to get me to where I need to go. All right. And what you see with a lot of kids now, I mean, maybe this was always the case, but with a lot of kids, they take a year off after high school. A lot of danger comes with that, man. Like, you can see Obama's child can get away with it, but that's for many reasons. I mean, like, she don't even need to go to college. Now, I believe she did, the oldest one. None of my business. But, to take a year off after, I feel like everyone deserves that, to take a year off. Now, I know a lot of people who are all about the grind, the 24/7, may have something different to say about that. I'm not saying that you just take a vacation, but really take a step away from, I don't know, the beaten path, because you pretty much had a schedule. And if you were like the average kid, come summertime, you were just wasting away. So I mean, you were getting your breaks. And somebody could make that argument. Can't disagree with that one. But still, taking that extra year will help you find a great deal of clarity. And everybody's living situation is different, so it's hard for me to really speak on that. But if you can, I wouldn't advise jumping straight into it. I think it's a maturity thing, and you really need to sit down with the question. And maybe you can start in high school, so you don't have to wait a year. Because if you want to take out a student loan, or if college is really the thing for you, then I think a year will give you some time to really figure that out. If not, you're not trying. So yeah, the apprenticeships, that's number one at the top of my list. I would say you couple that with having a kind of an entrepreneurial mindset, even if you don't know where to start. Because if you keep your mind fixated on it, it's going to start. You're going to start coming up with some very specific questions that'll help you narrow down the path that you can take to your desired outcome. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's very easy to make it seem like the people you went to high school with, that you're in high school with, have it all figured out because they are already enrolled in the college. But what you're not focusing on is that a lot of people, they drop out, they switch majors, they go to different colleges, they downgrade their college, or, which may even be worse, they get a degree, for the sake of getting a degree, and they get a job. It may pay well. It's probably decent pay, more than what you would make if you didn't have a degree outside of these trades that I'm speaking on. But you feel obligated to work this job for over 20 years because You know, it's been bringing in the money and it's been tiring you out to the point where you can't really focus on anything else. You got all these other responsibilities, you know, and and if you're anything like me, you get comfortable relatively fast, which was a problem I had coming out of the gates at 18 years old. I didn't even think I was going to graduate, and that was my problem right there. I was 18, and I got an inheritance because my father died when I was younger. I got $20,000, and to be honest, I didn't blow it, but I blew it. All right, because I didn't want to get a job. I thought, see, my head was in the right place. Like I was going to invest in real estate or something like that, but I fell for some scams. You know, I put down the money for my mother to buy a car, so that was good. That was about $2,400. I bought myself a car for $2,700. I ended up selling that like a year later for about $1,800. So, you know, it wasn't all a waste. Like I did buy a lot of weed with it, but you know, I just whatever. I mean, if that's not something that I would complain about my money going. You know, like I just wish that I would have, like I said, taken on a trade and had that $20,000 while I'm still trying to figure a lot of things out. Because you know, my adult life is a series, and it may be the same thing for you, but it's a series of me learning everything nobody else could teach me. All right, and it takes a lot of strength, a lot of will, a lot of vision to go on journeys that are very foreign from what you are accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? This is why a lot of people stay in the same place. And the downside of having a loving family is that they will keep you there too, so long as you're nice and safe and around and not dead, you know. Like they don't give a shit, you know, what you could be doing for the most part, you know. I would say most people, which is, you know, that's kind of a detriment, you know, because it's like if you're going to be alive, you want to do things that actually have some meaning to you, like, and not to sound stuck up, not to sound like I'm not about to fight, not to say that having a job is beneath me. I'm just saying that we officially live in a time where we can do more meaningful things to make money, you know? So even if you can't do that right now, it's good to have that mindset, just to know that it's out there for you because you can see other people, you see other people doing that, you know? It makes me think sometimes, and I'm trying to paint you a picture here because I don't necessarily know where I'm going with this, but something just popped up in my mind. Like, imagine, imagine working at a grocery store, right? And you working, you know, you can't leave, or you might get fired. You know what I'm saying? You have designated hours. You have a job to do while you are in this building. And then you have somebody who's about your age, maybe younger, maybe didn't go to college, and you see this person taking things off those very shelves that are on sale, seeing how much they sell for online, just buying them all up in bulk because they're nice and cheap and they so small. We talking about packets of herbs, you know, herbs and spices and all that. Ship them off to Amazon. Make more money in 2 weeks than you personally make it in a month at that job. That person makes it at that job. Even if the person who was working for themselves made a little less than the person working at this particular grocery store, you still got that sense of freedom. You can still envision ways to scale your own personal business. That's where your mindset got to be. And I can't even say that I'm jealous for real, because maybe those opportunities were available to me when I was 16, 17, 18. But man, like if you old enough, if you can watch this right now, you are in a great position to change the course of your life. And I'm not just being positive, but I'm just saying, like, this is a very powerful tool that you are listening to me on. Like, I've made a living from my cell phone alone, and I barely even scratched the surface. Watch when I really get cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it like that's the. I mean, I see no other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if in fact, it's great if you feel like there aren't a lot of opportunities around you, because then that will force you to create some. You know, and it'll have you asking the same question over and over again because you are obsessed. And once you obsess with something, oh man, I think that's I'm pretty sure that's a very powerful prerequisite to actually having things manifest in your life. If you keep thinking about it, man, like, I mean, that's not it, but it's great to hold a clear vision. So you're not running aimlessly, walking aimlessly towards nothing. This is why you got to be clear about what it is exactly you want. And it's just like, this is one of my biggest messages, but I meant to say this a lot sooner. Is that, and I was writing this in my journal earlier, and it's nothing that I created, but something I had to remind myself, is just, no matter how much work you choose to do, you are wrapping circles around people who are doing nothing. So just always keep that in mind, man. There's nothing wrong with trial and error. In fact, like it's a blessing to be able to do that. It's a blessing to be able to stay in the game as long as possible, man. Like for real. Because if you're 18 or something like that, imagine where you could be in another 18 years. You'd be 36, and you say 18 years, that's so long from now. But yeah, imagine setting up, the rest of your life to be damn near a breeze by the time you're 36. I'm almost 29. I'm almost 29 years old, and if you told me that at about 40, 45, maybe even 50, that I would be at the point where pretty much I will need for nothing, I'd take that. I would take that, no matter how long I live after that. You know what I'm saying? I think I'll live. I think I'll live for until I die of natural causes. That's my hope, but it's out of my hands. But I'm gonna do my best health wise. But I'll take it. All right. Because I'm already in a position now where there's a lot of opportunity, and I might not have to wait till I'm 40. Might have it by the time I'm 35. I don't see why not. But ultimately, keep your ears to the information, and your eyes. Keep your eyes and your ears and your nose to the information. And never discount or discredit one little mini hack that may make your life better. So what I mean by the little mini hack, you see, the way that I live my life is kind of like the body, where it's just a bunch of makings that create the whole. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. All right, so our body is a collective thing, and I take a collective approach towards certain obstacles in life, the way that I deal with things. So, for example, if I wanted to work on my anxiety, I may take a cold shower. It does have medicinal purposes for that reason. I'm not just bringing it up randomly. But I may take a cold shower to deal with my anxiety. All right? But I don't just stop there. Or, I mean, I can, but for example's sake, I don't just stop there, because we're talking about the whole being greater than the sum of its parts. We're talking about gumbo. And it's an acronym that I made, but I don't remember what it stands for. Oh, that's going to bother me. Anyway, so instead of just taking cold showers for my anxiety, we will take cold showers for the anxiety. We'll drink chamomile tea. We'll meditate. We'll exercise. I mean, all of these things. And before you get to that place where you may be anxious, I mean, like this building. We talking about social anxiety. I'm going to somebody's house. Then after doing all of those things, while I'm in the car, or actually riding over there, I'm gonna focus on my deep breathing as I'm driving. But while I'm in the car, I'm gonna just take one more briefing and talk to myself, whatever it is. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I stack things. You gotta stack them together to increase your chances of success. That, my friends, is the law of probability. All right. So, with that being said, I'm out. Thank you all for your support. Be sure to like and subscribe.